Great. What's up, everyone? So, we're back. This week we actually have a very special episode because we have our first guest. Matilda Warg. Yeah, we call her Vari, which is wolf.
We call her, that's my name. But yeah, sure.
We call her Vari, which is her name, and her family name, and it means wolf in Swedish. So she's the wolf, but she's not that aggressive. She's not scary. I promise.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
And so we have Matilda and of course Viktor, and this is me, Karim, with another episode on the Unspecial Filmtalk. This week.
So we have a special episode because we have two movies. We have The Shining and Dr. Sleep. So a little bit information about The Shining. Released in 1980, directed by Stanley Kubrick. Do you pronounce Kubrick?
Yeah.
Kubrick. Written of course, Stephen King. With a budget of 19 million. With Class A actors such as Jack Nicholson. And also with Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, Shelley Duvall, yeah.
Shelley Duvall. And Danny, I forgot to write this.
Danny DeVito.
Danny is played by Danny Lloyd, yeah.
Yes. Oh, his name is Danny Lloyd.
Yeah.
As in the bartender. Oh, okay. It got 4...
This is a spoiler.
A spoiler alert. Wait, does it mean something?
I don't think so. No.
We're
oh, wow.
We're gonna
I haven't
discuss
even thought about it, yeah. No.
It got 4 wins. 4 nominees. No. 4 wins.
Or did it win 4 times or?
It won 4 awards and
Which
got
awards?
7 nominees.
Which ones?
I don't think he has written it down.
Do you have anything?
Probably a good award.
Is there any like Oscars maybe?
No, I don't
No,
think you
okay.
won. No, I don't think so.
Ah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
That's like
It
a
should
really
have,
good movie.
At least for like cinematography.
Yeah, and because we have a guest today, Matilda's actually gonna introduce the second movie because it's like I know that we've talked about it and you've like hyped it up a lot, Dr. Sleep. You're like, oh, this movie is so good.
And you were kind of disappointed, but yeah. You shouldn't get your hopes up. When
We're gonna talk about it, but like, yeah, go ahead.
So Dr. Sleep is the sequel to The Shining. It's based upon the book that Stephen King wrote, which also has the same name, which is very funny because usually when it's sequels, it's just The Shiner or The Shining 2 or something, but it's just Dr. Sleep.
The Chinese.
The Chinese, yeah. Which is great, so...
The Shining.
Yeah, The Shining.
They couldn't just Shining Part 2, you know?
Great, yeah. It was directed by Mike Flanagan, and of course Stephen King wrote the novel that it's based upon, but Mike Flanagan wrote the screenplay. And it stars Ewan McGregor, which also is known for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes.
Hello there. General Kenobi.
We had so many jokes when we watched this movie. Good
I was
God.
Like, last Star Wars joke, I swear.
Yeah, but he plays Danny as grown up. Yeah. And Rebecca Ferguson, who is a Swedish actress, she plays Rose the Hat. And Kaylee Curran plays Abra Stone. Their budget was $45 million, and the worldwide income for it was $72 million.
Which is it went plus at least.
Barely broke even.
But no, it broke even with a lot.
45 to 72, yeah. That's
son of a bitch. You're not in.
Yeah.
But so we saw the movies together yesterday, and I'm really sorry for how I was in the cinema.
You were very
annoying.
You disliked the movie a lot.
I was a bit annoying,
it
and
took
I
like to the third act. It's like, oh, that's when you kind of like, yeah.
And I'm really sorry for that. I feel like,
I
feel like I was a bit childish.
I mean, in the beginning of the first movie, we were just sitting.
Oh, shut the fuck up! This is important.
Everything is important. You need to watch this. Like, I've seen it like 3 times already.
But it was his first time.
Oh, should we mention it? That this was my first time seeing The Shining.
Yeah, it was his first viewing.
So I have a pretty like
fresh
look. View.
Yeah.
The only thing you knew about it was from
Simpsons.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fun though.
Yeah, yeah, great.
I only knew about the Shining.
No,
Me in the Shining. No, the Shining. You do something with Shin.
Oh, I'm coming to save y'all. Is that everything you've got?
Is that all you got?
Which is true. That is exactly what happened. Because he didn't help anything. So we saw them yesterday together, and I think it's only fair to just hear your like view of The Shining, because it was the first time for you seeing
So
it.
the first movie was good. Yeah. You could say it was even amazing. But no, it's really lives up to the expectations and what everyone talks about the movie, you know, or what everyone says about the movie. Second movie though, not that much.
Yeah.
But like the first half of Doctor Sleep, I didn't really enjoy. It felt exactly like Supernatural, the TV show. Yes, people with half superpowers going around in America in cars and shooting each other. That's exactly what Supernatural is. And I felt
but it goes on for like 14 seasons.
Yes.
14 seasons, goddamn.
Dude, it's like one of the longest running shows.
Damn.
So the first half of Doctor Sleep was a bit not super exciting. The second half, like right before they were going to the hotel and a little bit prior that, I enjoyed. So I enjoyed the ending part.
Yeah, well, it
so
had
like
its
like the third act.
Yes.
Yeah, it had its ups and downs, and I think people are really divided on what they think about the movie. It's almost like you either like it a lot or don't like it at all.
Yeah.
But something that we talked about last episode was like classical films, or like films that is like a cult movie, you know, and that we haven't seen, or some of us haven't seen. And watching The Shining and like how important that film is for like filmmakers, and hearing all the stories about Kubrick being such a bitch on set, you know, messing up. Did you know that the scene with the axe, like when she's like backing up on the stairs and Jack is like going after her with the without the axe. She had a bat.
She has the bat. Yeah.
That take, because it's like they took it with a steady cam. Right, and the Steadicam followed her, and then up the stairs. They took that 172 times. You know why?
Well,
just to get that reaction of her, like being really tired and like being really exhausted, and just you know, because that's really her, and it really comes out, and it they got that at the ending of the 172. You know, it's just movies, like films after films after films. Change it again, you know.
It must have taken like an entire day. Like
probably several days.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
It's crazy, but you know that's Kubrick. He's a bit crazy, and you get to know that he wrote a lot of the script on set and changed a lot of things.
Yeah. So there's actually not like a final script for it.
No.
Like it's only just a script that he had during shooting, which is kind of hard to like. I saw something about it and it was like did try to find it, but it was really hard, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, and something that Jack Nicholson said about shooting that film or being on set was he didn't have a script. He just got the sheet every day. Today we're gonna do this, and he got like new paper every day. So he didn't even look at but wow, what an actor, that was crazy. The
performances in this movie are they're so amazing.
I mentioned it several times during our viewing, but the kid actors, all of them were great.
Yeah,
in
true.
both movies.
True.
Like Danny Lloyd is so good in this. It's so great. Yeah,
and the girl who plays Abra.
Yeah.
Rebecca? No, Kaylee. Yeah, Kaylee something.
Kaylee Kern, yeah, she was so great. Like, really. And, like, she also had, like, the confidence because she knew that, like, her character, she had the confidence because she knew she was more powerful than
everyone else.
The true Knot. And, but she also had to, like, had this, like, insecurity about who she is, and she's also a child, and but she was so great. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing her in more movies.
I love that you're taking that up with her powers being like she's being OP and stuff, because that was one of the things that I got like super mad about. That, you know, sometimes there is like holes in the plot, right?
Yeah.
and out of nowhere, like in the beginning, she's this like super powerful girl, and she can like easily kill them or whatever. And then like when it's really dangerous, she's not using her powers like at all.
Uh-huh.
And like, okay, so she got this medicine type thing put into her.
Yeah.
But for how long did that?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't follow it up with like, oh, she's still not feeling good, but she could walk and she could like stand and everything.
It was more of a tranquilizer.
Yeah. What was that? Like, they didn't.
Yeah.
They mentioned it before. Like when Rose and Crow Daddy talk about like how important it is for them to find her while she's still a kid, and like her parents still don't know about like who she is and like what power she has, because when kids get older who has a shining, they usually like get medicine for it or like go to like a psychiatrist or something, and they, because of the medicine or like antidepressants or like Xanax or something,
it blocks
it, or like it makes them shine less.
Is that something that they brought up more in the book? Because you've read not the whole book, but like
no, like half of
bits
it.
of it. Yeah.
Not, I can't really remember it, but they mentioned it in the movie, and I remember it like as a thing. Yeah, because that's why they usually go after kids who has a shining, because it's usually like it's more powerful then, because they haven't like developed it and like. Well, they haven't. Enough. Yeah, to get it like tranquilized. So I think that's.
Yeah, but for me it was like, it lost me for a bit, because they didn't like build up how much we knew about the Shining, you know, because in the Shining, the first movie, it was a bit of the mystery behind it. I think you mentioned it before, like I like and I dislike not knowing a lot about the Shining.
Exactly. I don't want written on paper everything the Shining does. That kills its mystery behind it and all its exciting thing that could happen. I can't predict as a viewer. But in the second movie, they were pretty much just, wow, we can get superpowers from this, and we inhale smoke, and you can live forever. No.
It's like, be careful with what
Rose.
You say, because like if you begin scratching that surface, then you need to go into you need to go all the way down.
Yeah, exactly. It felt more like a bit of a semi superhero movie. Second one, because of the like description of powers, you know. But in the first one, it's just what could happen. We don't know. The whole time is just
and that was a piece of the mystery.
Yes,
and that might have been. I haven't read the first book. Have you read it?
Yeah, The Shining. Yeah, I've read it.
Because maybe they went into the powers more than what the movie shows. Yeah. Is that something?
Yeah, and mostly, I can't. Oh God, it was kind of long ago, but I think most of it, like when they were at the Overlook Hotel, it's the hotel itself that is like evil and has like the power, and it drains, it like feeds off people just like the True Knot does with the Shining, and it like I don't really know, but it's really like mysterious, and it's part of the charm about it, I guess, that you don't really know what's happening. But I wish they went a bit deeper into what it actually entails. Even though you kind of don't want to, because it's a part of it. But sometimes you just get really lost, I think. Yeah.
I have a question that I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna sound weird, but who do you guys think is Jack? So Jack is the father, right? He's the father of Danny. Yeah. But he, as a ghost, was himself with an axe. He was also as Lloyd, and he was also in the picture from 1920.
Yeah.
So
that's a good question, because there is like some explanations
probably
or like
in the books, but
theories.
in the movie I didn't get any answers from both movies, because he was in the picture, which doesn't really explain how he's a father to a kid in the 80s. I think.
Yeah, they talked about how. Well, when Jack talked to, was it Lloyd?
Let's call him Lloyd.
in the
guy in the bar.
bathroom. the guy in the bathroom. There was
So the guy that killed.
Caretaker.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the guy that killed the past caretaker who killed his own kids and his wife. Yeah, he said that that Jack had always been the caretaker, and that he will be there forever and ever and ever, like the twins say. So I think I really don't know. It's very
So theory that someone talked about on YouTube was that it has to do with something like soul returning, something that goes and comes back.
Okay.
Which is something that we also see in this movie, like in Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
Because like what is his name? Dick
Halloran.
Dick
Halloran. Yeah.
is also like a returning character, and they have a little conversation about, are you coming back? No. So there's like good and bad souls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the monsters, but they're also like good people that die and shine on other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think that might have to do like something to do with it. And the thing with the picture is that it looks like him, but not really. You know?
Yeah.
It is him. We know that it's him because it's the same actor, but he looks really different, and like he looks younger, maybe.
Yeah.
Or
which
something
would
like
make
that.
sense.
Yeah. Which would make sense because we also get this third guy, or like the second guy in this movie, that is supposed to be Jack, right? Behind the bar.
In the bar, yeah.
And maybe it makes sense that he doesn't look the same as Jack.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
He looks a bit different, but not the same.
Yeah.
So
and it's also a part of Danny's mind as well. So it might. He was really young when his dad died, so he might not remember like exactly what he looked like and stuff. Which would also like, it's kind of it kind of annoyed me that it didn't have like the real actors, but obviously they couldn't because they're older and stuff. Yeah, but
they didn't need to.
Sense.
You know, that was my problem. They didn't need to go there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, they needed to have the mom there. Like, what was her name?
The mom.
Yeah, Wendy. Yeah, they had to have her there, like to see what happened, like after. Yeah, and they did a great job with the casting. They all look great. Yeah.
Sure, but like the problem for me is when something, like you're telling a story, right? And this story is supposed to keep you in. Sorry, but it's like that, you know.
A story in a film. A story of film.
God damn.
So we got this guy right.
No, like the story is supposed to keep you intact, and you need to believe that this story is true. And you know, I love Scorsese, like I love Martin, but the problem with The Irishman was that Morty, the people that know him,
Morty Scorsese,
call him Marty. No, they call him Marty.
I think you would hate that.
What?
Does it really?
Yeah, they do.
What?
Not Marty.
Oh, I think you
apple juice, but the problem with because I looked so much forward to The Irishman, but the problem with The Irishman that I didn't buy it. You know, they used de-aging, but still the physicality of the actors weren't there. And I just couldn't buy that this was a true thing. You know what I mean?
You get kind of taken out of it, which makes the experience much worse.
But you know, that was just not the only problem I had.
I haven't seen it, so I wouldn't know. But yeah.
You know, with Dr. Sleep, it wasn't the only problem that I didn't believe the stuff.
Can I guess what one of the problem is?
Yeah, go ahead. I think you know this.
They took almost every trope from the first movie that got it. Like, for example, the stair scene. Like everything that was iconic from the first movie, they tried to implement into the second movie.
That was one of the things.
Yes.
Okay.
What's the second thing that Martin Scorsese didn't, and Stanley Kubrick didn't direct it?
was it that? I love that look.
I watched The Office.
What you're getting at is one of the things, 100%, because what you're talking about, that they keep going back into the old movie, right? And that's something that they did with It Chapter 2.
Yeah.
They were so trying to do this other film. Like, you have already made that film, okay? That film is already made. You can go on and do something else.
They did the classic thing of, hey, look, remember this from the first movie that you liked?
And that gave us...
Everyone knows that it's a sequel.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
So just if you...
It's just a continuation of the story.
Yeah.
It's not like a different... Yeah.
Like The Matrix, they didn't go back like, oh, we were here before and stuff, you know? Like, oh, I need to walk into this house 15 minutes just because, you know, whatever. And then go back to the kid that is waiting in front. And then the kid goes in with me. Like, why you didn't need to have all that? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, unnecessary stuff that don't belong there. It feels like you're just trying to, you know, what do they call it? Like, this old movie that you love, we're gonna go and say hello to it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So originality for me is like important. Like, do new stuff. Don't go back and look at the stuff that you did before.
Something that worked, don't repeat it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't need to. You don't need to. And that points us at the thing that I really liked about the film. The new stuff, you know, the sequence of whoa, you know, that I actually
really cool.
reacted
flew
to.
Over the earth.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain what happened in that scene?
With Rose?
Yeah.
Oh.
What was going on? Like, what?
Yeah, what was going on?
So Rose was...
Well, she was looking for... We still haven't explained what the movies are actually about.
Yeah, we did. Didn't we? Or did you summarize the film?
Not really.
Oh, I haven't.
Oh, you didn't summarize the... Didn't you summarize the film?
No, we just...
Oh,
said
come
like
on, dude.
Okay, so
Really? Sorry,
The
that-
Shining. No, but The Shining...
God damn it.
I was like...
It's too late now.
Yeah. Just to recap? Yeah.
So if you don't know, like, I don't think we need to.
Nah.
Like, at this point, we didn't
Yeah, but
need
we
to.
could summarize Dr. Yeah, but just do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's about this hotel that supposedly are closed during winter. I don't know why, because it looks like a ski lodge.
It's up in Colorado. It's named the Overlook Hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're only open during summer for some reason. And they hire each year a caretaker, to take care of the hotel and live there for 5 months.
Yeah, until May the 1st.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this guy named Jack takes the job and moves there with his family. He has some aggression problem since prior of the hotel stay there. And things starts to escalate. Danny realizes that he has some sort of shining power. And things just go south.
Yeah, he can... Yeah. He sees stuff that is gonna happen in the future, and
also,
you see dead people.
Yeah, he can hear what other people are saying when he's not there, and he has like very good intuition. Like he knows what's about to happen, and also can see into the future and the past. So he's like a cool dude.
Yeah. And I would
and he's also a kid.
Cool dude.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. And I would say that
Good kid.
good kid. That The Shining is like a psychological horror film.
Yeah.
Which
amazing
the second
film.
one isn't.
Amazing film. You should watch it.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it? Well, would you say it is? Because some people think there is.
Yeah. So Dr. Sleep is the sequel to The Shining. It's a continuation of the story, and it's about how Danny, the kid, the good kid, how he, you forgot to mention, but Jack, the dad, he also had like serious drinking problems.
Yeah.
They don't really explain it that much in the film, but
I think they did enough.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, they talked about it.
Showed.
Yeah. But he struggled with alcoholism.
And you know, we're gonna take it later.
Yeah,
Go on, continue. Sorry.
So, Danny, after like the whole event at the
after the climax.
exactly. After their stay at the Overlook, he and his mom like continue to like live on and like live with the horrors and traumas, but they what do you say? Like, yeah, and then he grows up and he becomes an alcoholic because that's the way the bad circle continues. And some bad stuff happen, and he also has the Shining like really strongly. And then he meets this kid who's called Abra, which I think is from Abracadabra because she says that she has magic, which is also the Shining.
I guess.
The Shining, yeah. It's okay.
It's a pretty weird name. It's not normal, right?
Yeah, no.
It's a nice name.
I
like
it.
Yeah,
cute. And she's a cute kid.
Yeah, but it's not like normal, as in many people has that.
It's not
a common.
Exactly.
A common name. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and she also has the Shining like really strongly, just as Stanley did when he was younger. And they communicate, and they go on this adventure to find the true knot, which is a group of people who also has, I guess they do also have the Shining, but they're kind of vampires because
they have the Shining?
I think they do. Yeah.
It felt like Rose and Crow had it.
Yeah.
And also
they also all of them do have it because like
in a way.
Yes,
in
Rattlesnake
some kind
had
of
it.
way. Yeah.
Like Snakebite. Yeah, Snakebite. Yeah. They all had the Shining, but they use it for the bad. So they hunt down people who has the Shining, and they kill them, and they take. When you kill someone with the Shining, like who shines.
Not only kill them, but also like
torture them.
Torture them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the Shine feeds off fear for some reason. And when you kill them, you get like steam from their bodies as when they die, and that's how they inhale the steam. Like I think it's just Shining actually, like leaving their body. Yeah. And so they lived on. They lived like basically immortal lives. One of the characters are like, I think like 600 years old. So
you've seen empires die and grow
and sailed to new worlds, which I think is like the 1400s.
And you're still this old creepy dude that lives in the woods.
So that's basically the movie.
So Abra and Danny go on to fight.
Yes, Rose and the gang.
Rose and the gang. And Rose is trying to get the power of the little kid that is like super powerful.
Exactly, yeah.
And that was one of the things I joked about watching it. It felt like a Suicide Squad movie. I was kind of waiting on Dan, Abra, and then like 4 other people being like, oh, let's go up and square with them, you know?
Let's square these fuckers.
No, but seriously, I got that feeling, but I enjoyed that it just was Abra and Dan, and then some people around them. Exactly. But then taking out the other guys one by one, you know.
So what were we talking about just before this, and we were getting into? Then we were like, did we even tell what the film is about?
We talked about Danny, I think.
Danny as the kid or as the grown-up?
Or how Jack looked like as a ghost.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about Jack coming back and being this, which I didn't like because it wasn't Jack Nicholson, you know, but it makes sense in a way.
Like logically it makes sense.
Yeah.
But creatively it's a shame, but it's also like you get it.
Do you think that Dan's Lloyd looked like his father just because of his connection to his father, and Jack's view of Lloyd is someone else because some other connection he has? Do you think that the personification the look of Lloyd is connected to someone's memories in a way? That Lloyd doesn't have one appearance.
Well, Danny did see Lloyd. Well, didn't he see him in the... No, there was some other guy.
Getting
with
a blowjob?
No.
Oh, great party, isn't it?
No, with the... the guy with the bleeding head.
Yeah, the bald guy.
Yeah, that was not him, no.
I think at least it's that the people that die getting the shine out of them stay in that place.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, or...
And that's something to do with the Indian burial ground.
Yeah, because the Overlook the Overlook was built on like Native American burial grounds. So the thing that also like, of course, it's like spirits and stuff. Well, at least in the story. Yeah. I'm not saying this, but but in the story, the souls are like still there, and I think, well, I'm not sure, but I guess that like since they built a hotel upon like burial grounds, where like people are buried, their spirits are not like happy
disrespectful
about it,
white people.
which is true. But,
Yeah.
And dick.
And
yeah. I think that is a big like so the hotel itself is evil and like roots and like the evil.
And that's one of the mysteries I still trying to figure out that I guess there's no answer to. So how the ghost works, you know.
So
does everyone that has the shine become a ghost, or does someone who has the shine become a ghost at the hotel since it's like connection to burial grounds?
No, well,
okay, so my I think that if you die or someone takes the shine out of you, you stay haunted in that place because you don't have the shine, and then they try to get the shine from people that get into the hotel that have the shine. You know what I mean?
So,
and they become more and more.
So the baseball kid would probably just try to get people's shining. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, he probably becomes someone's like monster.
Some ghost.
Yeah.
Or doesn't he become a ghost since it's not at the Indian burial ground?
Because like you have the good people, you know, with the shine.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think those that are good, they have their shine. So they go and shine onto other people, you know, onto other good people. They don't use it in a bad way because they still have their shine. It's like shine is like this good thing, you know what I mean? And those that don't have it just become these evil guys. And that's like Dick, you know. Dick is like this good character, and that explains how they took his shine, and then she was like, "Hey bro, Danny, you are still in there, don't go." And he was like, "Oh, I am a good shine, okay, I fix." You know, it's
I fix.
No, it was super weird, but he became something, and he died, and they took his soul or whatever, or he ate them or something,
inhaled them,
and then he became this good person again. And like, did she give him some shine of her or something? You know, it was so weird. But the problem is that they went too far into trying to explain what it is, and they just made people confused.
Exactly, and that was one of my problems.
Yeah.
That the first movie was a perfect balance of we don't really know anything, but we know a little bit about just there's something called the shine, but we don't know the specifics of the shine.
Don't try to explain it, just explain it showing it.
The second one got like mixed. So the first one was just mystery, and that was the thing about it. It was the mystery. It was up to the viewer to decide what the shining really is. The second one, they tried to explain what it is, but at the same time keep it a mystery with all the ghosts and stuff.
Yeah. It's very hard to like balance those tones.
Exactly, and that's super hard, and that didn't really work out, I think.
Yeah.
And that gets us into the biggest problem that I had with the film. And that's something I think we have talked about before, but it's something that I'm really like toggling into like these past month, knowing so like getting to know so much about films, that this film didn't feel personal.
Didn't you? I guess
it didn't feel personal.
You mean like it felt generic, as in a way it tried to appeal to a lot of people?
It's really hard to like make sense out of.
I guess.
But I'm gonna reference to something that Martin Scorsese said, or maybe something that Bong Joon-ho said that Martin Scorsese said. And when he said that,
you managed to quote someone twice,
quoting someone
through someone else, and you enjoy both the directors.
Yeah, and
that's caring for you.
And and the thing is that when he said that, it really made sense for me, because I had thought about it beforehand, talking to Joachim and talking to other people, and like, the movie needs to be personal, and when it is, I really enjoy it, right? So what Martin said, I think ballpark here, okay? Yeah. So it's not perfect, I'm butchering it a lot, but he said that the best movies, or movies become great movies when they are personal, you know. And trying to like explain it or make sense of it, I would say the best thing to say is the film trying to be itself and not trying to be anything else. That everything that happens in the film has a meaning behind it. You know, do you know what I mean? Like, we've talked about watching films and watching them and feeling like everything I see
should matter.
Should matter and has a meaning to it.
And the first one, as you said a little bit before the movie, that the first one has so many details and it all matters.
It all matters.
Yeah,
and the second one didn't really have those same...
You know what? I definitely.
You know what?
No,
you son of a fucking.
Well.
No, I think you're both right. Like, I wholeheartedly agree. But the thing is that also, like, you need to see. Well, it depends. But like in Dr. Sleep, I think they showed the characters really well through like the mundane things that they do. Like they showed who Danny is through him. Like working at the hospice and who he is as a character and like his personality, which is really important for like the entire story, and especially I know do you
feel like they don't show that in The Shining? You know what I mean?
Well, I think they do. I think you get to know the characters really well. Maybe
except
not.
Danny, maybe.
Yeah, but he's also like a kid. Like you don't expect to really get to know him that well, and Wendy, you also don't. She's not a flat character per se. She's also a woman in movies, which is directed by a man. So of course she's a flat character.
She doesn't have
just
any.
Gonna put that out there, but yeah.
She doesn't have any character development.
Come on,
yeah, not
Matilda,
really.
come on.
Yeah. It's true, and you know it. Yeah,
but she survived. Come on, she's like the hero and stuff.
Yeah, she is.
But she died off cam.
But okay, so
as in no importance.
Sorry, Matilda, but too generic. You know, like too. I really like would love for more women to direct movies. Like, absolutely, I'm all about that. But don't say that every fucking male director.
Not everyone. No.
But by the way, Martin Scorsese is like really a douche towards women in his films.
That's also why I really don't like him. Yeah.
No, but like I don't think it's like it's not like he hates women in any way. You know.
Do you have a Martin Scorsese fan club?
Yes, you want to join?
Yes. Now that I know his name, yes.
Yes, sure, why not? He made Godfellas for goddamn sake. We talked
Shutter Island, right?
Shutter, yeah. Wolf of Wall Street. Goddamn.
I shouldn't see anything. I haven't seen
Taxi Driver.
Or like,
Goodfellas good though.
Oh, it's good. I bet it. Yeah.
Have you seen The Wolf of Wall Street? Or what are you talking about?
Parts of it.
God.
But it's pretty long though.
Have you seen The Departed?
No.
I have it here. You can borrow it, and I have Shutter Island if you want.
Shutter Island is great. Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, I think that the characters are really well built, and in both movies. But a part of it, like Jack's character, is that you don't really know a lot about him.
Go on.
Like, why do you have ghosts in
nothing
your
is happening here.
apartment?
Nothing happened. Okay, just continue talking. Just keep talking. Nothing happened. Okay. Oh, I see Axel. Should we invite him over? He's getting out of school right now. Axel's like
we can see school from Karim's window.
Yeah, it's really depressing. I really don't know.
He lives one parking lot
It's not
away.
depressing. It's really cool to be.
It's 2 parking lots.
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh, yeah,
it's not depressing. It's really awesome because I can go to school and study whenever I want.
Really depressing.
I'm not a nerd. I just like movies. Go on.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, but the characters are great, and that's like I really understood it. Like when the 3 of us watched all of the movies yesterday. How much I care about the story and like the story itself, and of course I care about like the other stuff of like the technical part of the movies and how they did things. I really think it's interesting, especially like the production side of it. But the story is really what I really like about it, and it really shows like what like The Shining is, like how you pick apart a family and like how you can just fuck with people. Basically, yeah.
Well, if you really think about the story, then you should think about how the story is conveyed. You know what I mean? Because the thing with books, and that's why I already know that when I read The Shining and Dr. Sleep,
Yeah.
it will be awesome and it will be all make sense, and I wouldn't like, oh, this is unnecessary. I wouldn't say that, because I know that Stephen King writes a lot of good shit, and that when you're reading a book, you convey the story in your head. You know, you see it in front of you in another way. But if you like, I don't know, I just it wasn't there. Medium? It wasn't just there, and I think you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I do, and of course you can have a different opinion.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But
no,
no.
Victor,
you're right.
No.
Yeah. This table.
Sorry, we're here to have a conflict, okay? You thought there was peace going into this door?
Is this the second disagreement we had?
Well, it's not a disagreement.
No,
but
it's not a disagreement. Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah. No, but I also think that I sent it to you like a movie review of Dr. Sleep yesterday after we saw it, and he said something really great because he really loved the Shining movie like a lot. He adored it.
So yeah, he said that The Shining was his favorite horror film.
Exactly, yeah, and that guy looks like he's seen a lot of movies. So, and
he looks like it.
He had a
he looks
lot
like
of
a
movies
nerd.
in the background.
Okay.
Hey, we have a lot of movies up there.
We have Karate Kid, Deadpool, Hangover Part 3.
I think I'm generous if I'm saying it's almost 25 movies.
Those are the bad bunch of movies that I have, but
had the Hangover the Part 3.
But they're pretty good. Yeah, Hangover, Todd Phillips, great movie.
Like the first one is good. The second one has like
all three are fine. Okay, I love them. It's
I mean they're fine, but they're not good movies.
Yeah,
the first one is
well,
Dr.
Sleep is a fine movie.
Yeah, of course, yeah, sure. But you know, I got something from it. Like I really got inspired from that sequence. That's what was we talking about? We were talking about that. We're gonna. Going back
to 20 minutes ago,
Okay, so going back to that sequence of Rosa.
You can just talk about it.
No, go ahead.
But you had
okay, so okay.
Talk about it.
Talk about it. Sorry. So you get Rosa is trying to get into Rose. Oh, Rosa. That's what I'm saying, Rosa.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
So Rose was like sitting there meditating, and she was trying to get into the head of Abra
and try to find where she is.
Yeah, and exactly, and you get this completely fucking original sequence of her like leaving her body and going into space, and like going across
the globe, and like seeing from the Earth from afar.
Yeah,
like
and you see her in the foreground. The Earth is like underneath her with the in such a good detail, and like behind her is all these stars and stuff, and then you get this continuous montage of her getting inside of the room, and like it's trippy as fuck, and like stuff is happening, and
but it's also like really slow and like really soft and like gentle in some way.
There's not much different audios.
Yeah, like, it's not harsh.
It's just very gentle.
Calm.
Yeah. It really shows that she's meditating, and you can really like show her mental. Yeah.
The thing that got into me right from that is that I have for a long while had ideas for movies and things that I wanted to do that has to do with being asleep and dreams, you know.
You know, you had Dr. Sleep.
No, like lucid dreams and stuff that wouldn't happen in reality, you know, and like being able to manipulate the world around you, right? And they do it so well because they just penetrated this feeling, right?
Of feeling just floating.
Yeah, floating, and just that getting into the room, I was like, whoa, you know, and I actually reacted. I was like, what the fuck?
I was so excited because yes, finally you get it.
Yeah, but it was, that thing was awesome, and I'm gonna like digest that a lot and see how they did it, because I need to do that. I need to do those things, and even the sequence like of her going into the boxes and stuff happening, and then the flip, the twist. of Abra getting into her head and
that was so great. Yeah.
awesome.
I've also been really inspired by at least The Shining. So I've said this before on other episodes.
Wow.
That I really enjoy the visual effect, like the special effects and visual effects, like everything that you see. I really want to explore and become. I want
Better,
to learn it, you know.
Yeah.
And I've never really been into the super psychological movies that Karim and Phoenix are into.
So not Matilda, sorry.
So when I'm
stay outside this.
Sorry. But when they are discussing, trippy ideas like, if I was in the mind, like, walrus, it's like something super weird that doesn't make any sense. I'm just confused. And I don't really have an inspiration source for that. But after The Shining, I can see where you come from, and I got some ideas from The Shining, just like some small ideas.
Like what? Yeah, what examples? Like what scenes did you like?
I really want to
get
try
hooked on, or something like that.
The thing that really, really inspired me from The Shining is the sounds that irritates you.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah, it's so annoying and it's so great.
And the only thing the second one had was the heartbeats.
Which was inspired from the first one.
Yes, but I felt like it was a bit overused heartbeat. Yeah. But the first one was great. They had different variations of these annoying sounds.
Yes, and it built up like the sound. It grew stronger, and you knew it was going towards something, and like a crescendo. But the crescendo was always like something not that big. But the things that it built up to was also really important. But you think, especially when you hear like film sounds, usually it's building towards something and it's the grand finale or like the crescendo and the climax of the movie. But this was just parts of the movie that built towards like the rest of it. So it's just a part of it, and it's so great. Yeah, but it's so annoying, and that's
the thing
so
I love
great,
about it. It's not, you're not sitting there being comfortable seeing superheroes flying through the screen and being like, this is nice. You're sitting there twisting, being like, stop.
Yeah.
It
gets in your head.
It's uncomfortable to watch, and that's like the beauty of it.
I enjoy that feeling.
Yeah, and I really enjoy when movies.
Being uncomfortable.
When movies like build up.
That's why I'm sitting on this table.
Yeah, wooden chair.
Come on.
It's almost like The Shining.
Isn't it like super comfortable?
Yeah,
come on, I just bought this.
I've been going like this the entire time.
Okay, I'm gonna buy like 4 racer shares or whatever they call it. Gaming shares.
I can bring mine. I can get the.
Like, can you do this?
I'll just bring a chair without the what do you call it? Like
just the ball, like gymnastic ball.
Back thing.
No.
Like you're sitting there just.
Pall.
Pall.
A chair.
Paul. P-O-L. It's also known as like
a stool.
Maybe. Yeah.
I
think you sit on that doesn't have any back.
Without the back support. Yeah.
We'll just bring great chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm next for the next episode, we're gonna talk about in chapter 2.
When she comes back, and we're gonna have an episode about Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
But everybody's sitting super uncomfortable.
That would be so great. Like Halloween viewing.
Oh my god, the Halloween. I haven't seen all of season 6 yet, though.
Oh no, I haven't seen it anyway.
Yes. I'm really excited. Yes.
Yes.
Police.
Meanwhile, I have seen 14 seasons of Supernatural. What's up?
You only said.
I've seen 13. I
yeah.
think 14 is the latest.
You have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, one season. Yeah.
One season.
We have a lot of homework. Yeah.
So I was saying that I really love when movies like build up this thing with a lot of music and then they use the silence.
Yes.
And I don't know if you have noticed that they used a lot of silence in the like later, like the third act.
The only audio we heard, except for the only audio we heard was the wind blowing outside, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of wind.
There was silence, but also combined with some.
But there was also are you talking about her sleep or the Shining?
No,
the Shining. Yeah, because there was a lot of wind, which would kind of not make sense because they were mostly inside.
But it made sense though.
But yeah, exactly. It's both the overlook, which is creepy in itself, but also when they opened the door. When she went to look at the snow the snow machine thingy shows no car.
Yeah.
She opened the door, and I don't think we saw that she closed it. I don't think she did actually. I think we see it.
She didn't close it?
No, I don't think she did.
Mm.
And so that would also make sense, like went into the house.
But it's also like making you remember that they are isolated.
Yes.
I think that's a big part of the... And, I don't get why... Sorry, Stephen King. But, like, in the movie, in the book, I don't know how much it varies from the movie, But, like, so one book is isolated in this one place. And you get this feeling of, like, I don't know, movies that take place in one place, right? And then you have this other book, Dr. Sleep, which is like around the fucking world and like all these different places, and at her place and at their place and back in Colorado or whatever.
Which makes the hotel so much more frightening because it's so closed quarters and it's just the entire world in The Shining.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I don't think they went for that. They didn't or maybe they tried to, but
because the second one feels too large scale.
Yeah, because they go it's a long distance between like all of the places.
Exactly.
But I also really liked that as well. Well, not maybe all of the fucking car scenes because that gets so boring. Usually, like,
wait, did she just say something negative about Dr. Sleep? Oh my god!
It had a lot.
How dare you?
It has a
Not
lot
the
of flaws,
fish table.
but, like,
Not just.
Only Karim is allowed to talk shit about that movie.
Not you.
Not you.
I'm on the line.
He's like, I think it's okay.
It's Karim, is it okay?
Is it okay for me to say something bad about the movie?
I just see Karim
You said it was a great movie, yeah.
No, don't do it. Don't do it, bitch.
No, but I think going through like all of these different places and like seeing where Danny lives and where he used to live and where Abra lives and True Knot goes, and also they're a caravan, so of course they're gonna like move around a lot, and also chase after Abra, and by doing that it also adds on to the feeling when they get to the Overlook again, because Danny, he's been trying to avoid it for like, and trying to remember, like not trying to remember what happened at the Overlook, and him going back there gives like a more, it's inevitable that he's gonna go back. And he has to like finish it, like close this chapter. Nice reference. Yeah, but
pretty much like it.
Yeah.
Jesus
It has to like.
Nice reference.
Yeah, but and it really shows that when Danny goes into the Overlook alone and Abra's still in the car waiting, it really shows how the hotel really welcomes him back, and it's not just a foreign place for him.
That's a super interesting point. Building up the tension of going back to the hotel.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that, or I didn't feel like they did that.
No.
Did you guys feel like
I
they were going for that? Because I didn't feel that at all.
Well, I had already seen it, so I knew when they were coming to it. But yeah, didn't really get like a reaction from you two. They just said we have to go back to this place, and I was like,
do you have to? Like this was not foreshadowed at all,
No, not at all. It's
he was like, oh, I have an idea. We should go there. Why? I don't know. Final scene, pretty cool. Going back,
I know a place. Oh, where are we going? Illinois.
Illinois.
Go to the Blues Brothers.
Come on, but it's so far away. But it's gonna give me the powers. I'm gonna like do this thing where I open all the boxes and they're like, oh, food.
But couldn't he open the box like at anywhere? Yeah. Okay.
I guess he did that with like all of the others, but I don't really know actually.
Okay,
sure.
I have one question. I have several questions, but this is one question I've been thinking about.
Questions.
I have many questions.
I have all the questions.
So one question is, what do you think the blood represents in the elevator? There's probably an answer to this, but I think it's some sort of connection to the Indian burial ground.
Oh.
Because of there was no mention of like a slaughter or anything at the hotel, right? Except for the caretaker, of course, but no actual mass murdering thing.
I don't think there is. No.
So I guess the blood is the magic blood of the Indians or something.
Is it in the beginning when they walk at the beginning of The Shining, when they're giving the tour of the hotel by the owner? They tell him that it was built in Indian burial grounds and that they were really upset about it, like the Native Americans, and I think
they paid a fee. They said something about paying a fee.
I guess they had to pay a lot of money to like, yeah, but yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, and like just blood is evil. I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
I think just like it's a good point about being like the blood of the
ones who get taken away.
Yeah, but I think it has to do with fear.
So just like representation of fear.
Yeah, the overwhelming. Yeah, the overwhelming. Yeah,
flooding.
The overflooding of the feeling of fear, because it takes over your whole body.
Yes.
When you're scared, you can't think about anything else, and like how that blood, like, you know, took everything with it. The chairs, the stools, and everything. But I really loved one chair.
Which
it took several. It took several. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
but the right one moved first.
Like the first way. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was.
That's such a nice shot. It's so iconic as well.
And especially that they remade it. I guess they remade it or reacted.
I think you do.
Yeah.
In that movie I saw yesterday. Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ! Why did you fucking?
They said that they actually took the first shot from the movie, like The Shining, when they
put it in After Effects and did stuff to it.
Yeah, they did.
They did?
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
wow.
Maybe not in like After Effects. I don't know, but they remastered it in some way. But they used like the actual.
Oh, so they didn't
shot.
remake it.
No.
Fuck.
Not in
so
like
good.
the opening shot. Of the when they go across the water and stuff.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love the colors, you know, of the hotel and stuff in The Shining, of course.
It's very red and like it's really
and then you have exactly, and like it's almost the part of the elevators. Every time you go past it, like reminds you that it's of the blood.
Yeah.
Because it's red. Yeah. Like I think the
Yeah,
doors are
the
red.
elevator doors are red. Yeah.
Which is something super interesting and like terrifying just to see it, you know.
And also the bathroom was super red.
Oh yeah, that was.
Do you think
that was so? It kind of looked like a lot of like 50s.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But
True.
but it was built in the 1920s, so but yeah.
Probably.
It's great. The.
Refurnished? No.
Renovated.
Yeah.
But it's great. The set design in these movies are great, and yeah, it looks great. And one thing about color, I saw that in the end of The Shining, when Jack is tormenting the family, he I guess that's the word. He's wearing like a red shirt over, like a red jacket over, like a patterned flannel, and like blue jeans and like boots and stuff. When Danny goes back to the house, he's wearing the same outfit but reverse colors. So he's wearing a blue jacket, a red, like I guess like a red shirt, like a red shirt.
How do you flip it?
Black pants or something.
Yeah, it's just basically
the same colors,
the same
but in
outfit,
a different
but
way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which makes sense, you know. It's the same circle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I realized I saw it yesterday and I was like, oh, that kind of looks like the same. It has to be like the same one, but it was cool.
But something that was also like, you know, just cringing me up inside, you know.
You were cringing.
Oh.
A bit. But, you know, it's like the hotel, they closed it down, or was it abandoned, or what the fuck happened, you know?
It was abandoned.
That's the mystery.
It was abandoned after that, the one dead person?
It should have been closed down after the
You
first
know?
massacre, but
Maybe
But it
when they
didn't-
realized it was repeating events
yeah.
for
But,
people not
oh,
handling
I
the
don't
situation.
know, you know, but it wasn't such good. You know, it wasn't like broken down or like everything was okay.
But you mentioned it was burnt down in the book.
Yeah, it's completely different in the book. They burn
Yes.
it down. Oh, well, it's not intentional because Jack, when he's losing his mind, because why they're at the Overlook during the winter is to take care of the boiler, to make sure that it doesn't get like frozen down because it's so cold up in the hills of Colorado, and when he has to check on like the temperature of the boiler, and when he's starting to lose his mind, which he does from
Oh, so
beginning.
it burns down in the first film?
it explodes. Yeah,
In the first book?
yeah, in the first book. Yeah.
Okay.
And so when he's losing his mind, he forgets to check on it and to close it down. So there's like a crescendo. It's ticking, and like you know that it's gonna explode at some point because
Okay.
he doesn't fucking check on the boiler. So of course it's gonna overheat and it's gonna explode. So that's what it does in the movie, and he dies in the is still in the hotel and not freezing to death.
Oh,
So it
that's
takes
interesting.
yeah, and that was kind of hard for them to. I think that was a part of why Stephen King didn't really like it because it completely
changed,
took
yeah.
a different turn.
So what do you guys think about the almost last picture, like the
Jack
of
being frozen.
yeah,
in the-
Jack being frozen. What do you think about that?
Made it a comedy, pretty much.
Yeah, it kind of.
That was a jump scare for me. I was like,
Did you? Oh.
yeah, I did not expect. I knew.
Didn't you see the meme?
Yeah, I've seen the memes,
Bro.
which is like the only thing I knew about the movie, the iconic scenes.
That and Simpsons.
Yeah, Simpsons and
Here's Johnny.
like references and stuff. And I was waiting for that to happen. I knew he's gonna die in the labyrinth. I knew he was gonna
Yeah.
die out in the cold.
Yeah.
But I did not expect it to be just
Yeah.
you know.
It's kind of taking you out of it for some because it's built on and it's really scary, and then it just kind of isn't because he's dead, and like it's good that he died because he's a terrible person,
Yeah.
but it's also like you built him up to be this terrible evil person, and now he's just not. He's just dead, and he died like in the snow. It's not in that shot. It's just I don't know. It's kind of. I've seen it a lot of times. As well,
I feel like when it came like ding, it was almost like the consequence or the result of something happening, So he's dead, and like it's almost like a picture, like a frame,
Yeah.
And then going into the last shot, the iconic last shot, steady. I think it's Steadicam or maybe maybe a dolly.
The last shot.
Yeah, the
Which one is
last
that?
shot. It's when they go into the picture.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's probably a dolly. Maybe?
what?
Either a
A
dolly or
dolly.
Zoom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. Oh, yeah. No, probably like I don't think it's a zoom. But it's like a super
Yeah,
long
yeah,
and like
yeah.
wow, crazy.
Yeah, so I think it's good that they don't have like the last picture. That the picture of the picture is the last scene, and not like the shot of him in the snow.
Yeah.
Because that would have just taken the edge of it out a lot.
Mm.
So that's great. And you
Yeah,
get like a lot of questions like, what the fuck was he there in 1920?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
You
if
don't really get the answer to.
No, you really don't.
Yeah.
And you don't get it in this movie either. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait to.
Yeah. And that's something I like about the movie.
Mr. Sleep.
yeah.
That's the next one.
Mr. Sleep,
Yeah.
Sir Sleep the Second.
And speaking of deaths, what do you think about that Danny died in Dr. Sleep?
I mean, I didn't mind him dying.
I
Just
don't mind.
just the way he died.
General Kenobi.
Felt a bit weird. I mean, it was kind of maybe not even weird.
It
Maybe,
was confusing
maybe it was fitting though
because you didn't
the
know
one,
what.
the
yeah.
one super weapon he had, all of these boxes, was
Mm.
also his own doing,
Yeah.
to himself.
Exactly.
But he just that part was okay. The part I didn't like was when he was going to kill Abra, and she said, "Do you know where you're standing? You're in Dan's body." And then he just turns, becomes good, but still possessed or something, or still dead, and then he kills everyone.
So
No,
confusing.
He's not dead yet. At that point,
He didn't
Oh,
die.
he was still
no,
alive.
he died when the well,
Boiler.
yeah, when the boiler exploded. I think that's the thing.
So what happened to him?
I
Did he get
I think he got possessed or something.
like Jack?
Yeah,
got?
I
See,
guess.
that's the thing. It's
yeah,
like
it's kind of very confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
the-
very confusing
and
what's
here
going
we-
on.
Here we are kind of supposed to know ish
Mm.
what's happening because of all the things being taught to us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But if this was the first movie, it would have kind of made sense because we don't know shit happening.
Yeah, exactly.
For example, why was there a bear?
yeah, but that's
Winnie the
I
Pooh
I
giving a BJ, like what?
it was
That was a
It's a
piece
part
of the creepiness.
yeah, it's
but
a,
it did-
yeah.
Like there was no mentioning of a bear or anything.
It's in the book. I don't really remember what it was, but
There's an actual
I
part
thi-
about it.
yeah, I think it's just a weird like part of the history or something
Mm.
that someone like to dress up. I think it actually was one of the like the owners or something, like someone really
Oh.
high up. So yeah, I don't really know, but I think it was that, and they just had like a nod to it, and
But-
that added to the confusion and the creepiness.
Yeah, but it's all the scenes where you see one of the ghosts or something like that, like the old lady in the bathroom or the twins. It's all creepy, you know. They are not aggressive. They are
Yeah.
creepy. They
Yeah.
they didn't try to kill them. But
They're
then
just there and like
Yeah.
remind you that I'm here and you're also here and you're not gonna get away from us.
exactly. But then you get like it's almost like in The Shining, they possess the mind of Jack because he's human and he can kill the other ones, so the monsters can feed on them or whatever, right? But then in this film, the monsters go themselves and you know are aggressive and like zombies, like zombie style,
Yeah,
which is weird.
yeah, it's kind of bad. It's kind of iffy actually.
Yeah.
I didn't
Oh
really
my
like
god! Did I just turn Matilda 180
I've
degrees?
never really liked that part. It's great because it's the thing that I remember, but it's also like
It's a thing.
it's the thing I remember. But that's also like what I don't like about it. It's just you don't have to show us what we already know.
Exactly. Like
But it's also great because I think why they acted like the monsters it's not monsters, like the bad stuff, the bad people, when they acted like they did in the staircase. I think it was because they were all open at the same time at the same place, the boxes.
and they've been hungry for a while.
God, yes, yeah.
God, yes.
Yes, they were.
God, yes.
They
So-
were ravenous, and
So hungry right now.
and they had like this opportunity to get like a lot of steam from this person who had a lot of shining, aka Rose and Danny as well. Especially
but
when she
not
was-
the small kid with all the powers. Like you see how
Yeah,
you see how the plot is like not perfect here.
Yeah. I haven't.
Which
I mean,
is-
they
Yeah.
went for the
Like,
kid
are y-
later.
Yeah,
first they went for the
woman in
girl.
bathtub, yeah.
Yeah, first they went for the actual person laying there, and
Yeah,
then
they
they
were-
went for the next big meal.
Exactly.
They were yummy.
They were yummy.
Yum.
But you know when
Look at the
when you're really mysterious with the movie,
Love that movie.
If-
Song.
all the questions come on. You know, if you're as mysterious with the stuff as The Shining, then all the questions that you have is like, oh, it's just a mystery, you know, it's a part of the mystery. But
When you
when
try
you're-
to explain it and you kind of don't, it just gets flopped.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just get confused.
Yeah.
So, which is why I prefer the first one, which is might be controversial, but I like the first one more.
I don't think it's controversial.
No. It's one of the best movies ever. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's controversial.
But I really want to hear like what do you like, what is like the good pieces, or why do you love this film so much, Dr. Steve?
I think it's very interesting to see what happens after you experience this trauma, and how do you deal with it, and how do you like continue to go on in life after this, and how you can like recover. And Danny was like 8 years sober, and he was doing great. He had a job and he had a place and he had a life. He had built a life of himself, but that he also lived with these ghosts, and they continued to follow him, and it got him. He said that when he met Dick again, and when he decided that he had to help Abra, that he hadn't seen any of the ghosts for a long while, which I also see as a sign for him to like that he was really getting better and things were going well for him, but that you can't escape them. You just can have to like
You
try to
postpone the inevitable.
Exactly. And you have to, and especially like how faith. Well, I guess it's not faith, but like that.
Destiny.
You don't really get away from your past, and you have to confront it at some point. And that everything was building up. He knew that he was gonna have to go back to the Overlook at some point, even if he didn't like know about Abra and all that stuff. He knew that he had to return there in some way, to, like close the chapter and like just let it go.
Yeah,
I guess. And then I guess he was fortunate that he died. But he's always going to be there for Abra and like other people, and that's great.
He will shine. Well, we saw that he began shining on her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
One more thing. So Dick was in a box. Dick in a box inside of Dan's head.
No,
was he? No, he wasn't. What the hell, man?
No.
What
the fuck are you saying? Son of a bitch.
The people that haunted him in the boxes.
But how is Dan supposed to, like, how did Dan see Dick all the time?
It wasn't all the time. He didn't control it.
No, Dick came to him to talk.
Dick came to him, sorry.
Dick Halloran.
So I thought
God damn it, you shellless piece of shit.
Like a box with a not lock on it for Dick.
Oh, no. No.
An unlocked box.
The same way Abra has
Dick,
like
get into the box.
The same way Abra has a box for Dan.
No.
So
she doesn't.
Dan after.
Did he? Did she?
No,
she
I
didn't.
don't know. That was
I
how I
interpret.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's not.
Just
no, but I think that the people who are in the afterlife controls when they are taking contact with the other people.
Yeah.
And that with other people who shine, basically. And
so they can. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because
he said he had a dream and then he just came back and had a dream again or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Something like that.
Yeah. But it's
and that's also a very interesting concept, like locking your fears and your memories away in boxes.
Yeah. And once you fear them, you just once you finally face them, you just.
Yeah. But I think it's like a very, very like philosophical, like literal thing, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Something more in a book would make more sense, or like, whoa, this is so deep. But like they portrayed it a bit too cheesy.
Yeah.
But you know, the backstory to Danny and like him going to like, you know, becoming sober and stuff would be so easy to show without all of those scenes that might be like
reused,
not have a meaning to it, or being not really like important.
Yeah, it's not contributing much to the story, but it's
I think one scene
to his personality.
I think one scene would have been enough, and like you put a lot of pressure on that scene, or not pressure, but a lot of focus on that scene, and that scene would be when he gets his 5-year medal. Was it 5 years?
8 years.
8-year medal.
Yeah, because you guys were kind of talking over it, so I was like, oh, and I was too. I was too, so I was a part of it, but they could have done so much more with it.
Yeah,
and especially I liked how he talked about his dad and how he had actually like accepted him and like come to terms with his dad's alcoholism and the fact that he got it too.
And like forget about like him going on the bus and like with that girl in the bed and the baby and stuff like that. Forget all about that. Don't show that. Don't show anything of that. And even the room and stuff. Don't show anything of that. And just show that scene. Begin there, you know?
But you have to know what happened to him and like how he...
Like the repercussions of the first
everything
movie.
he said in the.
Yeah, but I agree that it's.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I don't
yeah.
mean that you need to show it that scene exactly as is.
Yeah.
You can redo the scene a bit longer, give it more of like very deep and very focused camera movement, and maybe cut to flashbacks or something.
That would have been
you
great,
know.
yeah.
But like, because that scene tells you all the things that we saw before, that his best friend, what was his name, the guy that helped him,
Billy?
yeah, Billy, that he helped him and he picked him up when he had nothing. You know, it says all about his drinking problems, but it says even more, because I thought that those scenes with the baby and stuff were pretty Hollywood-wishy, you know, and not pure cinema. And it says a lot about those, and reminisce about his mother and him as a child moving to Florida. It reminisces about his father, everything. Then you have 30 minutes off your movie, you know. I'm just saying, but like
they could have done a lot better.
You know what I mean? Because it felt like, oh, we're trying to put all of these things into this movie, but we don't have the time to actually focus on every scene and show it as if it, you know, it was like, oh, let's film it this way and this way and this way, and we're done. Sorry, I'm not like, I know it took a lot of time and a lot of hard work and the lighting and stuff.
Yeah, we're not disrespecting.
Yeah, I'm not disrespecting, but like the focus of the director, because the director needs to plan every goddamn scene, and of course there are some scenes that get a lot of more attention than other scenes, and that's the problem. Like, put your attention into every scene instead of putting your attention into some scenes, and then the other scenes just seem a bit blah. I'm like really sorry.
How
like
they did with the first movie. They planned everything out.
Yeah, everything was really planned out, and like the details are incredible.
Yeah. But they also changed a lot, like on the day as well.
Yeah.
Which I think.
And here's Johnny is improvised.
Oh, it's amazing. But it also adds doing like different. Changing the script on the day also adds to the feeling that you get through the entire movie, which is just insecurity and not knowing what's gonna happen next. And
which is a pretty good thing.
Yeah, and that's the whole movie. It's about that, like not knowing what's gonna happen. Well, knowing that something's gonna happen, but not when, where. Like, well, you know it's gonna happen as an overlook, but like how and
why.
Like why as well. Yeah. And like what's gonna cause this to happen. So.
I think it's time for something that we like to call
favorite quotes.
Matilda, as our guest.
No, she's last.
She's last.
Oh, she's a special guest. She's last.
Oh, okay.
Good, I'm gonna have to.
Because I was so excited about. Okay, but I get the suspense. Yes. We'll wait.
Okay, so watching
Viktor.
the movie, there was one point at some time where I think Jack spoke to Lloyd. And he said something, and I was like, that's my quote, you know? And then I forgot about it. And 10 minutes before this shooting, I have to figure out the quote. And I remembered, thanks to the internet,
Thank you.
When they walk up
and
the stairs.
Oscar goes to
the internet.
And when they walk up the stairs in the first movie, being like, oh, I'm not going to hurt you, I'm just going to bash your brains in. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Brains out, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh,
so
that's great. Yeah.
It's just like, I'm not going to hurt you, I'm just going to like really hurt you.
Yeah, it's telling for his character as well.
Yeah,
it's great.
Thinking he's right, but not. Yeah, pretty much.
I just did that mess.
I'll devote my quote to something that we found super irritating, but a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Because we all love Star Wars, and too many times it was too close when someone said, "Oh, hi there." Come on, just say it.
Say hello there. And
just say hello there.
General Kenobi.
Wasn't there like 8 times or something?
Yeah, and Rose said it so many times.
Yeah. She said it to him.
Yeah, exactly.
They look eye to eye.
Oh, hi there.
Being like,
Oh, hi there.
Hi there.
Hi there.
You're not gonna-
I think I know why they said hi and not hello.
Yeah, it would ruin the movie.
No. If they said hello, they wouldn't be able to stop the characters from saying General Kenobi.
Yeah, exactly. It just would have been physically impossible to just stop them.
I just can't. It's too harsh. And the Matilda.
Yes, I don't remember. I think, no, but there's just too many iconic things in these movies.
There's one that is like super famous that you can take.
Here's Johnny.
No, the one with the on the papers and stuff.
Oh yeah, I really like the all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. It's great, and it's true, but it's also like. I think you know what I mean. Yeah.
No TV and beer makes Homer
go crazy.
Go crazy.
Also, reference to The Simpsons.
I saw that Simpsons episode.
Best fucking
of
episode
Shining,
ever.
like maybe 10 years ago. Something. I have it on DVD at home, and that's my only view on The Shining as a movie. And then, of course, the references and memes and stuff.
Yeah.
So watching
He didn't
this
know
movie,
anything about it.
I just thought, there's a funny thing I mentioned after. I was just thinking, okay, what do I remember from the first one? Okay, there's a maze, there's a janitor or something, which it wasn't in this movie. And a lot of things. I know the typewriting scene when the wife gets like noticed that he's messed up.
He's
and then walks
crazy.
up the stairs and everything. But the twist that the Simpsons movie or the Simpsons version had was it was nothing on the papers. It was just like Homer. One line was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
It was one line. The thing you said, like, no beer and TV makes Homer crazy.
No, it didn't say that on the paper. It
No?
just said on the.
On the walls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because
What was
like,
on the paper?
on the paper
Nothing.
said something small, just like one line, and then she says, "It's like, oh, nice," and then you hear thunder, which it was shining.
Yeah.
And then the thunder lights shines on the ceiling and on the walls and everything. And we see a bunch of like psycho texts,
like scribblings, like no beer.
And I was waiting for that in the first movie, and then
You thought it was gonna happen?
yeah, I actually thought it was gonna happen because it was a reference to The Shining, so I thought that's the actual scene,
But that was an artistic show.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So when she was going
They got
through all the
inspired.
papers, so when she was going through all the papers, I was just waiting, and now for the ceiling, now for the ceiling, now for the ceiling, and then it comes up in like, no it comes, shit,
And that's like one of the most telling, like the groundbreaking scenes.
Oh
Like
my
you
God.
really get like, he's cool. Yeah.
Cool. But I love that, from the start, that something with him is off.
Yeah.
Like, he seems like a great father, but something is a bit off with him.
Yeah. There's a theory that when they never explain in both the movie and I don't think they explain it in the book as well what happens into what was it, room 237?
Yeah, that's also a thing.
237, yeah. There's a theory that Jack actually like sexually, I guess, like
Harassed?
yeah, well that came on to Danny
Oh no.
in some way,
Jesus.
and that's what happened. Like he had the thing on his.
You did this to him, but I was here.
Sounds like Stephen King.
It wasn't me.
It does, yeah. And
Writer, something happening to a child.
Something sexual to a child. Ooh.
Ooh.
Some weak or super strong lady.
Strong lady.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, but there's no more.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
there are.
in the movies. No.
There is.
Well, who do you think?
I read one of his books. I don't remember the name of it.
Carrie?
No. Where there was this author who were gonna on his way to. Nothing is going on.
Yes,
Nothing's.
yeah. and he get kidnapped.
Yeah, he gets kidnapped
Yeah.
like from
But
this.
she's not powerful. She's just evil.
She's
holding
evil,
him
but she's
hostage.
big. She's big and
What is
That-
that? Carrie?
that book-
No,
that
that's
book
not
is
Carrie.
awesome.
Yeah, it's.
What is the name of the book?
They did a movie adaptation of that as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see
I
it.
think they did it on Family Guy.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and Stand By Me. Yeah.
But Stephen King, awesome
Yeah,
dude.
it's great. Yeah.
Pretty all right.
Pretty alright.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's pretty good. You know. So review. What do you think? Or do you want to start or last? Want to start with her
That's up to you.
or end with her?
You decide.
Okay, let go, Matilda. You first.
My review.
Yeah. What do you think? And give a score from 1 to 5.
On both
From 1 to
movies.
5. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Both
Oh my
Both
God, so
I think they're great movies. The Shining is very iconic. It has lived through a lot of different times of filmmaking and different stories, and it's hold this like place and time, and it's just great. Like it really inspires me, and it really pushes me forward to like become a better filmmaker, and especially like a storyteller as well. And yeah, it's just great. I love it. I love the story, the characters, and how like they build the world. Even though I'm really fucking scared of this movie as well. I'm a little what do you call it? Was it? Yeah, was it? Yeah.
Your voice
yeah.
is like
Yeah,
slowly
I'm
dying.
just
Can you
slowly
just
dying. Yeah,
can you-
yeah. Sorry. No,
Be
but
with
it's
us
a great
here.
movie. I like it.
I
I like both of them. I like the
We're talking about
yeah, my score for them, both of them. I think probably. Well, was it 0 to 5?
0 to 5, yeah.
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 Are we talking about The Shining
I
now?
give The Shining a 5. I think actually, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And, even though-
She's generous, you know.
I
She
like-
she
I like
doesn't know
movies
how
a lot.
much we like give things.
No, yeah, but
Oh, go on.
I think the Doctor Sleep. I think it's a 3, maybe.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It could be better.
By
but
the way,
it's
we've
great.
only given out 5 only once.
Which one was that?
Parasite.
Parasite.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Parasite
the
is
entire
a
movie we
fucking
were just
10.
like sitting and jerking off Parasite.
Yeah.
We'd be like,
oh,
did
so
you see this?
my heart.
Yeah, it's
Why did it go so hard the entire?
Okay, how many episodes after have we talked about Parasite at least once?
I think all of them.
I think all of them.
it
We've
needs to
mentioned
be
it.
talked about.
Yeah, sorry,
It's
but
crazy.
you need to hear about this.
Okay, Karim, you.
Okay, so, well, Kubrick is really inspiring, and I love the detail about everything, and I aspire to become as detail oriented as him. You know, it's never gonna happen, of course not. But you know,
Let's see that.
he's
Nice
really good, and everything. Movies with when everything makes sense in a way, even if you don't know how it makes sense, it feels like it makes sense. The Shining is one of those movies, and that's why I love it. Plus the real fast cutting of intensity, like not like cut and then cut and then cut and then cut, but like still like a long take and then 2 frames come back, 2 frames come back, and like making I said this to you while just after it happened, when he's like biking into the hallways, Danny, and then you see the 2 girls, and then you see the 2 girls dead, and then you see the 2 girls, and then you see the 2 girls dead. Just the way he makes you look down on their dead bodies and then up again,
Yeah.
and down
How
on
it's
their dead bodies.
framed, yeah.
Yeah, just awesome, you know.
It's
Awesome.
plain awesome.
It's so good. I love it. I love it. You know,
What's that impression?
it's some Italian guy in Brooklyn. I promise you. Hey, brother. Wait, what?
Tony.
Hey, Tony.
That's it.
I'm walking in here.
In here.
Haven't you seen
I'm
it?
walking through this door.
I'm walking in here. No, he doesn't
No,
he
I've
say
seen
that.
it. Yeah, but in here.
Yeah, well, he says that.
Oh, I thought it was
You
just
can
I'm
walk in
walking
here.
here.
I'm walking it.
I'm
Yeah,
walking
yeah.
it.
I'm walking here.
So,
I haven't said.
yeah, but do you have like a
Yeah,
point
of course. Of course I
Give
do.
us your
Yeah.
scores.
You're show us what you got. So I would say 4.5 on
Oh.
The Shining. Yeah.
The Shining.
You don't get like 5 is really important. Like 5 is like favorite film ever.
But
you know.
I really love movies, and I really like them.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah,
I give them
yeah.
the
Well,
score.
I love The Shining, and it's
Yeah,
4.5.
Yeah. That's good.
And you're like, I can have my opinion.
Smile.
for Doctor Sleep, like props for that sequence. Like I haven't seen
That's
anything
good.
like that. Even if I think that there was too little movement in her, like when you saw her in the foreground while flying, I thought like she was really still.
Yeah, you could really see that.
Yeah,
That it was CGI, but
yeah,
it's still great.
still great, awesome sequence. At least when she gets into the house, and I'm gonna like watch it again and again and again, that sequence, and learn how, like the music, how they use the music and how they use the footage to create that feeling. But the movie was too much a Hollywood film, and it was really unpersonal for me, if that even makes sense. You know, if someone understands out there, maybe Martin Scorsese, what's up my dude, you know, it's like, it's not personal. The movie feels like, oh, we're showing this just to show this, not because it makes sense. And there's a lot of things that they show that just like, you don't need to show this, you know. I would give it like 3 or maybe 2.7.
2.7.
Yeah.
That's the lowest score so far.
we're like generous, but up to 4, and then after 4 it's like between 4 and 5 it's like, you know, 10 to 100.
Okay, so first time going in, I only knew about like the big things. There were some scenes that I actually didn't expect or like, you know, realized. For example, the Winnie the Pooh. That really threw me off. Like, why?
It wasn't Winnie the Pooh, my
I
dude.
never heard anyone
was a
mention
bear.
It was just a furry. Before it
Winnie
was cool.
Winnie the Pooh is a bear.
It's still not cool though.
Yeah, but it's small things like that. I think I've heard something about that zombie girl when she walked out of the bathtub.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sexy girl that becomes really ugly.
You mean the ugly girl becoming really sexy?
That scene is awesome though.
Yeah.
That scene is awesome.
That's great, yeah. That long take.
So the first movie, I was actually having, I was trying to have it a normal, like bar or a normal limit. What do you say? Ribba.
Not expecting too much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not high expectations of it.
Seeing as first time.
Yes, I was trying to forget all of the memes and the references and everything, and it actually held up really good, which surprised me because I was feeling, you know, since everybody say, it's a classic movie, why is it good? It's a classic movie. I never really had the thrive or the interest to see it, which is why I don't see a lot of those famous movies, because people say it's good because it's a classic one.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make any sense. It makes it worse for me because I don't want to see a movie because it's just classic. I want to see it because it's good.
And then you also feel the pressure that you need to think it's good as well.
Exactly.
Even though it's maybe not.
Exactly.
There's a lot of those movies.
And also, it really inspired me on several different ways. For example, the scenes of just having a big hallway and the characters are so small, which makes the hotel even bigger. Small things like that.
The sublime, my dude.
Yeah. It's just, and all those psychological things like the loud noises, which I really enjoyed, which I'm gonna try to implement in something. So the first one, definitely 4.5. I think 5, not 5, because I mean it's a really good movie. I want to see it again, of course.
Just give it a little time, I guess.
Yeah, maybe needs to grow on me a bit more. But
that's usually what
I really enjoyed the first one, and also because I really enjoy a little bit of older movies. For example, we watched Karate Kid last time, where movies don't have a lot of fast cutting. It's a lot of long, not long takes, but semi-long takes being cutted.
Just give it, like, gives it the time to like
the
sink
dialogues.
in.
Yeah, you sink in the scene more. You see more things, and then immediately when we turned on Dr. Stone, that's a show.
Dr. Sleep.
That's a pretty damn good show. Dr. Sleep. The first scene when Rose is sitting to the next to the water. I immediately pointed out, being like they jump cuts. It feels like a jump cutting vlog or something, being like, this hurts.
And we love YouTubers.
Yeah.
No.
Which really made me feel
YouTubers are like everything we hate.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is on YouTube. Fuck. Sorry, YouTube, don't hate us.
Which made me really think that this is gonna be a bit, feel less generic in a way, feel less personal.
You do understand what I mean, right?
But it can't put
I agree as well.
Can you guess?
Yes, but the first half, I would say first half of the movie felt like supernatural. Just we're going around killing people. We got powers. It works like this. You have not seen Supernatural. It's exactly like the first half of this movie. No
Really?
joke. Yeah,
Whoa.
it's insanely like close to it, and especially when they have powers, but they still have a gun shooting out.
Whoa.
They're using a force
God
shooting
damn.
gun. They do the same thing in Supernatural.
Gun scene? Come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
I mean vampires have guns and stuff like that. So the first half didn't feel that nice. The second half, not because of just the hotel, but just because of they're trying to bring back the mystery again. They're trying to make it more, you have to figure it out yourself. I liked the mystery of the entire movie in general. So I didn't like that Rose worked as a guide for the viewer, and the 15-year-old Snakebite.
Yeah, Snakebite.
She worked as the viewer, asking all the questions.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the teacher and the viewer, pretty much. So I didn't like the first half. So if the first half was better, I would give it a 3.5. But I'm gonna give it a 3.2 because I still enjoyed it. I was not sitting there in pain. Not good pain.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and it's
it
like
was great,
I love our time in the cinema.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoyed
Dude.
it.
Yeah, it was
Of
a
course.
great time. Yeah.
Like the middle time when we watched the first movie, and then you had to fix the next movie.
Yeah.
It was like 10 minutes or something, and we just watched YouTube on this big screen. And
the cinema in school.
And the weird part was with the first one, they reference Looney Tunes and Doc. Like, what's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc?
And the first video we watched on YouTube is a recently released animated short of Bugs Bunny, and it's just
isn't it like a parody?
I think it's a channel
it's not original.
No, I really hope no.
And it's super
Warner Bros. Be like
super 18 plus. Like, I want you, boy.
Not safe for work.
Yeah. Which just really like made a 180 on the mood in the room.
It was like
From like, that was a pretty good movie to like, what the fuck is that?
It's just I didn't really know how to react. Like,
yeah.
I guess we're doing this
the
now.
rabbit went up to Doc, and like grabbed his ass. It's like,
Also a movie recommendation.
He got that man pussy.
And what's up, Doc?
I wish people could see it.
I
It was
guess
so
you need
fun.
to add the link in the description.
Yeah, we'll add the link.
Drop the link in the description.
We'll add the link in the description.
Y'all want to make a shout out? Yes, he got more views than we ever got in 20 seconds or something.
No, I think yeah, exactly. In 20 seconds.
Someone even listen to the end.
Wow.
But yeah, so 4.5 and 3.2.
That's great.
I think 2.7 is a bit too low because I feel like that would be just I think you kind of think that it's too much standing in the shadow of The Shining.
Yeah.
But for me, seeing them side by side, I don't really see The Shining was up here, of course, but I don't see the Dr. Sleep being the little brother being there.
So two things. I'm not saying that people won't enjoy this film. It's just I have my views on movies just because I really enjoy movies.
You have opinions?
You have opinions? Yes, I do. But it's like how I think about films and what do I like about great films and what don't I like about films in general. So that's my thing, but as entertainment value, probably a great film to see in cinema. I'm not saying it's a bad film in any way, but I would love to talk to someone that really 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 likes this film, and we can have a discussion that it's more contrast in it.
And learn from that as well.
Yeah, 100%. And the second thing that it has like, it's almost, I don't know how you say it in English, but like it's starting on the wrong foot. You know, it's getting this really big disadvantage. The movie has a lot of disadvantage because The Shining is so big. Yes. You know what I mean?
Which is why I like that I watched them back to back.
Yeah, and then you're asking this director, can you be as good as this director? Like, maybe not. You know, it's too much to ask. And he's not beginning his own. This is not his own film by himself, because people is like looking at this film as a sequel to this film. You know what I mean? So it's not his own thing.
Yeah, it's mostly like, it's not real. It's a sequel to the movie, of course, but it's mostly like the sequel to the story, or like the continuation of the story.
It's not its own story.
Yeah, exactly. You have to really get that, I think, and like accept it as well, because two things can be different but also like be connected.
Yeah.
And also something that should be really considered is that, when was The Shining released? In like the
1980.
Yeah. That was that was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
You have to have that in consideration.
40
like,
years ago. Such a good film. 40 years ago, bro.
Yeah, but it has 40 years to like grow on people and like be a classic.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I think everyone,
and that's why they're like the top list of best movies ever. There's like the youngest movie are seriously from like 2009, and it's number like 37 on the list. Exactly, and by the way, There Will Be Blood is that film. It's crazy, yeah.
But as you mentioned, like, the movie is not only a classic movie, it's such a cult hit, and it's just when you think Hollywood movies, you think, oh, maybe like one movie, and then Shining becomes like one of the second movies you think about. It's such a big movie that impacts so much media, and we see the same thing we mentioned with Karate Kid. Like, we've not seen the movie, but we see everything being like parodied or like referenced to Karate Kid, you know, like wax on, wax off, you know.
Wax on,
wax on,
wax off. Like this, like this.
Yeah. I've never even seen the Karate Kid. No, I don't.
You can borrow it from me if you want.
Oh. So I think for a very long time, Dr. Sleep will stand in the shadow for people who have seen The Shining prior.
Yeah.
But people like me who haven't seen it will understand why it's standing in the shadow, obviously, because of a lot of things. But also that's it's alright. It's alright movie. It's not bad in any way.
But like, the balls on Mark. The balls. For taking like, I don't think I would ever accept like making a sequel to any film.
Imagine like you have one of the most famous IP of the entire world. Yeah. With one of the most famous author of all time. Yeah. Here, make a second movie, and don't make the fandom angry.
Yeah. Well, no, thank you.
Same thing with Star Wars.
Sorry, but there you get a lot of money though.
Like, I would never do that. Unless it's
like 20 million. But he probably got like 10 millions of those 45. I'm just saying. Just saying.
And Evan McGregor got the last 9. No.
I think like a big part of why I love this movie is also Ewan McGregor. I mean,
he was really good in the movie also.
Yeah, we didn't talk about like the performances are really, really great.
Yeah.
Like, we just mentioned a little bit.
That can be part 2. Yeah. I can think of doing a part 2 of this. Yeah. It was great. Awesome.
Yes.
Do you want to end it?
Oh, you have the power. When you clap, the episode's end.
I actually wasn't sure that we actually record.
No, like recording? You don't get it. As soon as you clap, that's the start.
We make it each week. Like,
when
you actually
we can't
clap. It stops or ends.
Okay.
In the beginning, we were like, you know,
you can clap in the middle of our sentence, and like, you should do it actually. Like, I'm gonna continue talking, and you just clap. Just clap. Just clap. Just do it.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God! Why? Oh, such an anticlimax. Go ahead.
Our first guest.
Can't you just clap in the middle of a sentence?
No, but it was an honor to be here. It was great. I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
It is fun, right?
Yeah, it's great.
It's like it might be cringy in the beginning with the English and
10
stuff.
10 minutes sucks. Then the rest is like, Jonas.
The Jonas Brothers.
I think you guys need to like explain who like more people are, because
Probably.
He just mentions people like.
No, we have talked about like, oh, Jonas is like, but you need to have seen all of the other clips.
Yeah, and I haven't. This is I watched like 10 minutes of the first. Like the last episode. I'm such a bad friend.
Did you see it last night?
Yeah, on the way home.
What do you think about it?
Put it on when I jump out of the car.
No, yeah, I listened to the music well. Then yeah. No, but you're doing great. Yeah.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's a great project.
I think is this
Great.
one of the longest episodes?
Yeah, I think so. I think
fun,
it's gonna be on like 140 or something.
Oh wow.
140.
Yeah, but like seriously, I just wanna keep talking to you guys.
Yeah,
like
that's great.
for sure, and I wanna do an episode more than 2 hours very soon. If the battery will hold, I have no idea really. But thank you so much. I'm just gonna continue on talking. You just clap whenever you want. Okay.
It was really fun to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, but by the way, Victor is.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. Continue. I'm just gonna keep talking until.
Bye.